Welcome to the future, Wallet Warriors. Hello there. All right, let's do this. Welcome to a brand new year, and more importantly, welcome to Acon Trend Hub. Yes, it's 2026. We made it, somehow. We survived another year of questionable fashion trends and social media challenges that made you wonder about the future of humanity. But while you were busy trying to figure out why everyone was suddenly wearing neon fanny packs again, the economy was quietly plotting its next move. And like a bad sequel to a movie you didn't ask for, it's all about inflation. So let's get right to it with the one question that should be keeping you up at night, right next to your existential dread. And that weird noise your refrigerator keeps making. Is your money ready for 2026? Because whether you like it or not, this year is shaping up to be another wild ride for your wallet. It's a bit like showing up to a party you thought was a quiet get-together, only to find a full-blown rave with lasers and a DJ who only plays remixes of sea shanties. You're not quite sure how you got here, but you'd better learn to dance fast. We're going to dive headfirst into the data, the forecasts, and what the so-called experts, the people who get paid to stare at charts all day, are predicting. We're talking about the forces that will decide if your grocery bill makes you weep silently in the canned goods aisle. Don't worry, we're not here to just throw a bunch of scary numbers at you and run away. That's what your bank statements are for. No, our mission today is to arm you with knowledge. Think of this as your financial battle plan, your playbook for navigating the economic minefield that is 2026. We'll cut through the jargon, the noise, and the painfully boring financial news reports that sound like they're being read by a robot in slow motion. We'll give you the straight up facts, the bold predictions, and most importantly, some actual useful tips to keep your finances from going completely off the rails. So buckle up, grab a coffee or something stronger. We're not judging. This is the moment to get serious, but not too serious. We're going to make sense of the chaos together, because in a world where the price of a single avocado can feel like a down payment on a small car, being prepared isn't just smart, it's a survival skill. We're here to help you become a financial ninja, ready to slice and dice your way through whatever inflation throws at you. Let's get your money fighting fit for the year ahead. It's time to face the economic music. So, what's the game plan? I'm glad you asked. We're not just going to wing it. This isn't your cousin's wedding speech. We have a structure, a roadmap to guide us through the madness. First, we're going to take a quick, not at all nostalgic look back at 2025. We'll recap the inflation trends that got us here, highlighting the moments that made our bank accounts sweat. We'll look at the data from official sources like the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. After that necessary trip down memory lane, we'll fast forward to the present and stare into the crystal ball for 2026. We'll pull up the latest projections from the big guns: International Monetary Fund, World Bank. These are the global scorekeepers of the economy, and their forecasts can move markets. We'll break down what these numbers actually mean for you, from the price of gas to the cost of that streaming service you forgot you were even paying for. We'll show you the trends, the charts, and the scenarios. But numbers are only half the story. We also need to hear from the humans behind the forecasts. So next, we'll bring in the expert opinions. We've sifted through the noise from places like Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal to bring you the sharpest insights from economists and analysts. Are they optimistic, pessimistic, completely confused? We'll find out. We'll explore the different possible futures they're mapping out, from a smooth landing to, something a little more turbulent. And finally, the part you've actually been waiting for. We'll connect all these big, abstract ideas directly to your personal finances. This is where the rubber meets the road, or more accurately, where the credit card meets the card reader. We'll lay out a top 10 list of bold, actionable plays to protect your money. These aren't vague suggestions like save more. These are concrete, punchy tips you can use right away. From budgeting hacks to investment strategies, we'll give you a full toolkit to make your money work for you, not against you, in the great inflation battle of 2026. Table of Contents Part 2. Act 1. 2025 Recap. 1. The 2025 Economic Hangover. A look back. 2. The big three culprits: food, fuel, shelter. 3. The Fed's tightrope walk, interest rates and jitters. 4. Wages versus prices, the great standoff. So before we can even think about conquering 2026, we have to perform a quick autopsy on 2025. It was a year, wasn't it? A year of economic whiplash, like stepping off the world's most disappointing roller coaster. The big story, inflation, the uninvited guest at every dinner party, the ghost haunting every grocery aisle. The year began with nervous optimism, a collective hope the worst was behind us. But the economy had other plans. It played a game of guess the price. Spoiler, higher. The number crunchers at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics weighed in. The Consumer Price Index gave us a year-long headache. Headline inflation hovered stubbornly, refusing to go back in its cage. Not double-digit panic, but a persistent grinding force. Year over year for 2025, 3.8%. Not a five-alarm fire, more a slow, steady burn singeing budgets. Inflation quietly ate purchasing power, one transaction at a time. What fueled it? Geopolitical instability, lingering supply chain hiccups, a confused, lukewarm labor market. 1 month, shipping costs eased. The next, an international spat sent energy prices up. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Consumers felt it everywhere. Sticker shock kept surprising us. Simple shopping felt like negotiation. Economic uncertainty became the new normal. People even argued about core inflation at barbecues. 2025's economic story wasn't a sudden crisis. It was a long war of attrition, fought in supermarkets, at gas pumps, in online shopping carts. That pressure set the stage for 2026 anxieties. If that was the calm down year, what's next? Next up, the big three culprits: food, fuel, and shelter. If we zoom in on the 2025 inflation story, 3 main characters hogged the spotlight, and not in a good way. Let's call them the big 3 budget busters: food, fuel, and shelter. These aren't discretionary luxuries. They are the absolute pillars of household spending, and all 3 of them decided to get painfully expensive at the same time. The price of groceries, for instance, continued its upward march with a vengeance. The Food at Home Index, a fancy term for your grocery bill, posted a 4.2% increase over the year. It turned every trip to the supermarket into a strategic mission to find non-ridiculously priced eggs and bread. Then there was energy. Oh, energy prices, the perpetual drama queen of the economy. In 2025, the energy sector was a wild ride, driven by everything from international production cuts to unpredictable weather patterns affecting renewable output. Gasoline prices swung dramatically throughout the year, peaking during the summer travel season just to make your vacation a little more stressful. At one point, the national average for a gallon of regular unleaded flirted with levels that made people seriously consider buying a horse. But the real heavyweight champion of financial pain was shelter. The cost of housing, whether renting or owning, remained stubbornly, infuriatingly high. The shelter index, which is the single largest component of the CPI, climbed by a staggering 5.5% in 2025. High mortgage rates kept many would-be buyers on the sidelines, which in turn put immense pressure on the rental market. Finding an affordable apartment in many cities felt less like a housing search and more like competing in the Hunger Games. From there, we moved to the Fed's tightrope walk, interest rates, and jitters. You can't talk about 2025 without the Federal Reserve. The Fed spent the year walking the world's thinnest tightrope, suspended over a canyon of economic doom. Roaring fire of inflation, icy abyss of a full-blown recession, their only tool, the federal funds rate, and they used it. Every move, every statement, every raised eyebrow, scrutinized like the Zapruder film. Trying to engineer a soft landing, inflation cools without a crash. Early in the year, continued interest rate hikes to make borrowing more expensive. If loans cost more for a car, a house, a business expansion, people and companies will spend less. The federal funds rate was pushed to a 2-decade high and held there. Higher for longer, the Fed's mantra, dead serious about slaying the inflation dragon. Finally, wages versus prices, the great standoff. Amidst all the talk of CPI and Fed rates, there was another crucial battle raging, the one between your paycheck and your bills. Did your raise actually make you richer, or did it just help you tread water in a rising tide of expenses? On paper, wages were going up. The official data even showed that, for some months, wage growth was outpacing inflation. But that headline number masked a more complicated reality. Why? Because the gains were tiny. We're talking about tenths of a percentage point. It's like getting a 5% raise, but your cost of living goes up by 4.8%. It was enough to keep you from falling behind, but not nearly enough to feel like you were getting ahead in any meaningful way. It was the economic equivalent of running on a treadmill. Furthermore, these gains were not evenly distributed. Workers in high-demand sectors like technology and healthcare saw more significant wage increases, while those in service industries and retail often struggled to keep pace. And so, 2025 ended not with a bang, but with a collective sigh of exhaustion, leaving us all to wonder how long this precarious standoff could possibly last. Alright, that's enough looking backward. Let's snap back to reality. It's 2026 and the economic hangover from 2025 is still throbbing. Well, the first batch of data for 2026 has just rolled in, and it's complicated. Think of it as the economy's first report card of the year, and it got a solid C- shows potential, but easily distracted. The latest headline CPI figure is currently sitting at a stubbornly persistent 3.4%. Yes, 3.4%. It's not the terrifying monster it once was, but it's also not the meek little kitten we were hoping for. The so-called core inflation, which strips out the drama queen categories of food and energy, is even stickier, hovering around 3.7%. This is the number that gives economists night sweats, because it suggests that inflation has become more embedded in the services sector, things like car insurance, haircuts, and medical care. So what does this mean in plain English? It means that while the cost of filling up your car might not give you a heart attack this week, the cost of getting your car repaired almost certainly will. We are in a state of economic purgatory. It means the Fed can't just relax and start slashing interest rates. They are still on high alert, watching every single data point like a hawk. Now that we know where we stand, let's turn to the big-brained folks who get paid to predict the future. I'm talking about the global economic heavyweights, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. And for 2026, their joint forecast is a masterclass in cautious, hedged, and slightly depressing optimism. It's like your doctor telling you the good news is you're not dying. The bad news is you're going to feel pretty crummy for a while. The IMF, in its latest World Economic Outlook, projects that global inflation will continue its slow, grinding descent. But, and this is a big but, it will remain above pre-pandemic levels. For advanced economies like the United States, they're penciling in an average annual inflation rate of around 2.7%. It also relies on a whole lot of things going right, like no new wars, no new pandemics, and no new supply chain meltdowns. Good luck with that. The World Bank highlights the risk of divergence, where some countries get inflation under control while others continue to struggle immensely. The World Bank is essentially saying that even if the US gets its own house in order, our neighborhood is still a bit of a mess, and that can easily spill over our fence. The path down to that magical 2% inflation target is not a slippery slide. It's a treacherous mountain trail with plenty of loose rocks. Okay, let's bring these big, abstract global numbers down to earth. What do these projections actually mean for your wallet when you're standing in the middle of Target trying to decide if you can afford both brand name paper towels and your kids' happiness? If the forecasts hold, 2026 will be a year of mixed bags and weird price movements. Let's start with the good news. Prices for physical goods are expected to behave themselves the most. Things like electronics, furniture, cars. Factories are humming again. Shipping containers are moving. Retailers are sitting on a lot of inventory they need to sell. Now for the bad news. Remember that sticky core inflation we talked about? It lives in the services sector and it's not going anywhere fast. Your 2026 budget will be a battle between cheaper goods and pricier services. And then there's the wild card, food and energy. These categories are notoriously volatile and forecasters are basically just shrugging their shoulders. So are we doomed? Are we destined to just sit here and watch our money evaporate? Absolutely not. This is not the time for surrender. This is the time for a counterattack. It's time to open up the playbook and get strategic. Here are the first 5 no-nonsense tips for protecting your wallet in 2026. Tip 1. Reforge your budget. Your 2024 budget is a historical document. It's useless now. Track your spending for a month. Know where every dollar is going. Tip 2. Beef up your emergency fund and put it somewhere smart. Aim for 6 months of essential living expenses. Find a high-yield savings account. Make that cash pull its own weight. Tip 3. Diversify like a maniac. This isn't just about stocks. U.S. stocks, international stocks, bonds, commodities. The goal, no single event can torpedo your net worth. Tip 4. Get intimate with I-bonds. Series 1, savings. Bonds are issued by the U.S. Treasury to protect against inflation. When inflation is high, I-bond returns go up. Tip 5, attack high-interest debt. A 22% APR is a financial emergency. Do whatever it takes to get that anchor off your neck. It's impossible to get ahead when you're paying just to stand still. You've mastered the basics. Now it's time for the advanced class. These are the moves that separate the survivors from the thrivers. Tip number 6, become a rate watcher. Staying aware of the interest rate environment allows you to play offense instead of just defense. Tip number 7, embrace your inner price comparer. Brand loyalty is a luxury. In 2026, it's a weakness. Be actively disloyal. It pays. Tip number 8, conduct a subscription audit. That streaming service you haven't watched in 6 months, cancel it. This is the easiest money you will ever find. Tip number 9, maintain a long-term investment posture. Don't let short-term panic derail your long-term retirement plan. Panicking and selling when the market is low is the single best way to guarantee you lose money. Tip number 10, make tax-aware moves. Every dollar you save on taxes is a dollar you can use to fight inflation elsewhere. So there you have it. We've journeyed through the economic wreckage of 2025. Inflation is still a relentless party crasher, squeezing your purchasing power, devaluing your savings, making your investment portfolio jumpy. The big picture, profound uncertainty. The economy sits on a razor's edge between steady improvement and a roller coaster back into recession. Hope is not a strategy. Sitting back and wishing is a surefire way to get your financial teeth kicked in. We laid out a concrete 10-point playbook for financial self-defense. Reforge your budget. Build a smarter emergency fund. Diversify your investments. Attack high-interest debt. Use tools like I-bonds. These moves are your armor. Foundational strategies to protect you whether bulls or bears win. This brings us to the end of our journey, but it's the beginning of yours. The economic landscape of 2026 is a challenge, not a catastrophe. It demands your attention, not your fear. To make that happen, here is your one final crucial tip. Stay ahead of the curve this year by subscribing to Econ Trend Hub for more economic updates and advice. Go on, click that button, and while you're at it, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out when the next critical piece of information drops. Think of us as your lookout in the crow's nest of the SS economy, scanning the horizon for icebergs. Thank you for joining us. Now I want to hear from you. What are your biggest financial concerns for the year ahead? Drop your thoughts, your questions, your anxieties in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going because in the end, navigating this stuff is a lot less scary when we do it together. Now go out there and get your money ready. The future is coming, whether you're prepared or not. Let's choose prepared.